So I saw the damnedest thing today. I forgot to tell you this. I come through my line today. This is a little loud for me. I'm gonna turn it down myself. Now it's gonna be too quiet because we've turned it down somewhere else. Ah! Sound! I can't see through my boom. Down with ya to 60%. Salve! Goodbye! Anyway, this guy came through my line today. And he's like, he's probably like in his 50s or 60s. Just this old Hispanic man. And the shirt he was wearing was one of those like early crappy 2000s shirts from like a nerd fandom that would just have like the white square on a black shirt that would have like the graphic, or rather like the graphic was a square shaped thing transposed cheaply on a t-shirt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And on the one side, it was Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Saga, Gohan with the bowl cut, Krillin, and on the other side is the Ginyu Force. I now know what nostalgia means, but let's finish Kingmaker! Harem's dead. Lightning
dead.
poops. I know I said stop yelling. I'm yelling. I'm gonna turn down the gain on my mixer. I think it might. Oh jeez. Now I'm yelling and getting. Oh. Okay. Hello. Hello. Whoop-a-doo. Alright, there we go, we did it. So Harem's dead, we can't bring him back. I am a little mad about it. Next time we'll remember to buy all of the Scrolls of Resurrection or have a cleric, because apparently a druid can't do it. I just want to bring back Death. It's basically the same stats, he just wouldn't have the Chonic. Right, I think a Hobgoblin is Conwiz. And eggs. Yeah, they're totally Conwiz. They're one of the few stats we have, or one of the few races of Pathfinder that have name variants. Never have I ever turned down 4+5 Keen Falchions. That's worth a lot of. Give me all your money. Then maybe I got it. Maybe there'll be somebody in here to sell stuff. Roads, Germans, Luna, Germathos! Oh, yeah, this is it. Can't keep running Kingmaker. My name is Tommy. Her name is Lucia. You knew that already. Right. Hello, friends. Oh, it's my throne room. Do you think that dog's okay?
No.
You don't?
Not the pupper.
Yeah. The first world spares no critters.
This is sad. Hack on the Lantern King.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hi, buddy.
Just sitting.
What's up?
You stole my seat? I'll kill you! We'll cut you! Okay, so you have a legitimate reason to read it, because, look, friends. That's in my way! I can't see! Can you see my ball python? Sorry, I had to. We're good.
Okay. Your footsteps echo from the ceiling of the ravaged throne room.
Sorry, there was something in my throat.
I hate you.
Good. That's how relationships work, dude. Mutual hate. At least in my experience. That's what I've learned.
The sound attracts the attention of old Remus, slouching on the steps of the throne. He looks up, shakes his head slightly as if displeased, but keeps silent. Nothing betrays the mask of a deity in this hunched man.
Words. How little value we attach to them, and how much they truly mean. But I've grown tired of words and prophecies. I will no longer predict chaos and death. Instead, I will show them to you, myself.
So, I don't know. Actually, I do know. I remember. Actually, I may be slightly paraphrasing. I like Kingmaker a lot. I haven't really kept up with like what Alcat says and things, but I remember they brought in Chris Avallone for a lot of Kingmaker. And if you don't know who Chris Avallone is, he basically made all your favorite CRPGs. He's, let's see here, both the Divinities, Icewind Dale. I think he was on Neverwinter Nights, which is a very one. If we stream more, and I constantly go from I need more time for self-care, that's not, and there are so many more things to stream. But Neverwinter Nights 2's plot's really good. And I'm coming to realize some of my favorite stuff about Kingmaker has been the stuff that wasn't in the actual AP. For example, this. At least I think. I could be wrong. Anyway, I'm gonna fight the Lantern King. Whoa!
Oh yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Oh, just make a bunch of build Robins. I should have buffed. I didn't buff.
We should have buffed.
I didn't buff. I didn't buff.
We're gonna die, but
We're gonna live!
we're gonna figure out what they do first.
Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me. I guess I have these range. Why are my hotkeys gone? Are you still power attack vital strike? Power strike?
Power.
Oops! I win.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe if I could show you better.
That's the old gnome from the first one. Get back here. Where are you going? Everyone attack it at once. Where's these spoopy ghosts? LSG. Why? We know we're gonna die.
But like, what if we
That is
die?
a dope tower shield. How many permanent nothings have hit you? I mean, she's a unquantified undead. What is Jade?
That should be a
No, like, what is Jade? Because you don't know. You're gonna shut me up.
No, I'm serious.
Okay, so
I
what
think-
is Jade?
I have a lot of theories, but like all of them don't fit
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Kill this man! Maybe I should have turned the difficulty.
The time for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting and killing.
My guess is these fights get like progressive.
Oh, wild monkey. I do like the wild monkey. There's a lot of stuff. If he's cool Pathfinder. I don't know if they're gonna do it. And I. Oh. A little louder. A little bit louder. Whoop. Aggression. A little bit louder now. Jathel's in trouble now. I gotta. What are we doing? Yeah, guys, where's the lantern boy? Right there. There's the man lantern. I'm gonna give him the rats. He's immune to it. That's why I'm not casting spells. This is still second or first edition / 3.5. If you have spells and it's the boss, it's immune to it. That's why I built a bunch of barbarians, because I assumed I could just punch through stuff, right? Because that's what you do. Now we died. GG. No worry. Let's spook of ghosts. Time has come to do something. We can do that. We can do. You know what would have been real good? Banishment.
Assuming it works, yeah.
Why wouldn't it?
I don't know, because the game would be messed up or something.
Fair enough. I don't think it would send out the monarchs, but it would send out everything the monarchs are summoning.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Well, let's try to energy drain him. I'm sure he's super immune. Oh, not paralyzed. No, he's dead. Alright, it's on you, Mastodons. Get him! Everyone is just dead paralyzed. That is unfortunate. Alright, here we go. What's on fire? I one of Jacob's rapiers, fair enough. I'm still loaded.
Yeah.
We forgot to do our buffs, kids. Okay.
Is a problem.
So to fill the space, what is Jathel? Because I know my buffs in this game take a long time.
It's on a short time.
Did the game freeze? The game didn't freeze. But real talk, what is Jathel?
So like
She can't be something as simple as like a zombie
No.
or a lich.
there's no way she's a zombie. She doesn't have a phylactery. She's not a lich. She's obviously not a vampire. She's like everything incorporeal is out. So it's just like, what
Oh.
is she?
With harem gone, what do I even?
Oh no.
Well, Jathel, we got off druids.
We have off druids.
Yeah.
Druids for days.
Like, I looked at Mahariel's character sheet and I forgot I bought 10 grappling hooks. Because if I'm going to do something, because I think that something is good, I'm going to get a lot of redundancy. I'm also real used to, if you guys have played Rise of the Rune Lords, one of the dungeons, probably my favorite dungeon in all of Rise of the Rune Lords, it takes place in a clock tower, where like the stairs give out and stuff, and my hunter when we need to get up, when I've fallen, is just grab the horn bow and shoot a grappling arrow up and climb the rope. And then you fall, and hopefully the wizard can feather fall you, and you just lose. I lost a lot of grappling hooks, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So I buy a lot of things. Redundancy is really important to me in TTRPGs. But sometimes I think I play them really wrong, too.
Why do you think that?
Because redundancy is, like, I feel like, as people who have seen my optimization builds know, I usually go Paladin 2, Swashbuckler 1, Scaled Fist 1, and then 16 levels of something. Maybe it's because I'm now actually playing in that life in your game. But I feel like I don't have any of my class features yet, and all the other classes are, like, outshining me. But maybe it's just because the levels where I'm at are just kind of a doldrums. I'm not really good at seeing far ahead. I'll tell you that. I'm really not. I'm an instant gratification kind of guy. Life is short, eat, drink, be merry. But really, what was the use?
Well, we need a mass cavalry.
Yeah, all these mass spells go.
Yeah.
That doesn't help you at all, but wait, does it? I'm just so curious. Does she now have... Okay.
She all of a sudden has a con score. Her health shoots down.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It would too. Yeah, please don't do that, JJ. You gotta put that C-Mass on. Foresight's probably good. Put it on you. That's a new one. And then a communal stone skin.
Bark skins if you got him.
Of course I do. I wonder if I need to worry about animal growth. I'm gonna. I'm having problems seeing where my other mastodons are. Where are my other mastodons? Wait. Okay, they're all four there. They're just kind of like on top of each other.
Oh, yeah,
Literally.
Oh, okay, one of them's
And one's
pushing
glitching.
the
Okay.
stairs.
So I'm gonna assume these are the two I need.
You have my attention.
Do I have your sword? What about your bow?
State
And Tuesdays aren't good for me! You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that meme is everywhere.
Yeah, man. Some GMFs. And one goes to Rigongar. Oh man, I can't wait to do this again, but with, stop it! But with no lightning. The no lightning mod, please. And rings of protection. And cloaks of resistance on my animal companions like there should be. The game assumes you will have those magic items. Well, no, it does not. The game assumes you will have those magic items if you want to fight on CR things. I think low magic or lower reward settings are fine. You just have to scale down the encounters accordingly. Like a party, like 4 level 8 PCs, which rounds out a CR7 party, is probably really challenged by like level 8, by like a CR8 creature. Whereas if you're fully decked, you want to shoot at like CR10, 11. I think that's probably... I don't know, I think CR is also really arbitrary.
It's really hard to calculate.
There go super arbitrary in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think that you just gotta be prepared as a DM to like affect the way that the entities are behaving in such a way that like makes it a good fight for the party. So if like they need to be more aggro than they would be, then they need to be more aggro.
Yeah, a lot of that just comes with experience.
Which is the hard part.
That's not the hard part, it's the fun part, you just gotta earn it. Like, I think the best way I've ever seen it described to me is, if you want to challenge a party, the analogy, I think, comes straight out of, like, Ultimate Campaign or something like this. We didn't see any energy get thrown around. I'm gonna just assume there's gonna be some fire.
Okay, but yeah,
Because the Lantern King will probably eventually turn into some sort of lanternly, kingly entity, right? That's probably a fair assessment. Oh, I forgot I do have Divine Favor.
sure.
Yeah. That might tick off by the time we get in there, but oh well. Let this move ghost. But like I was saying, at a certain CR, there's an opponent that's really hard to fight because it has a really high AC, but a really low touch AC, and I think a vulnerability to something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But the point is, a party with a lot of casters doesn't care, right? They're just gonna eat it for breakfast. Whereas at that same CR, I want to say a greater Barghest, I think, has not the best AC in the game, but it has really high spell resistance. These are things we then start manipulating for value, basically. Should probably go ahead and cast haste. That'll last for long enough. Probably the whole everything. Oh, that's a morale bonus on saves. Let's put that on all the Mastodons. Heroism! Remember your dad!
Please do not run away.
You're the whole point of the game. That's very French. I haven't heard that one before. Anyway, we're rambling. What is Jade?
Right. Okay. Corporeal. No strange eating habits.
God.
That's a lot of
I'm
them.
sorry. I know you're right. I've never heard it described in such
lot of them.
a splendid and beautiful manner. Thank you for that. Those strange eating habits. To which we are aware. She's an Urgathoan. She probably has strange eating habits by virtue of her religion.
Travel.
Not that she's like eating people or anything, just she eats way too much food sometimes, probably. Why? Because Urgathoa says that's cool and you should do it. Overeating's cool. Do it.
Any fun to be had?
Now there's a shield build up.
So much fun, Reggie.
Man, I wish I could cast some sweet vampiric touch and hold the charge. I tell you what. I think that's everything. All right.
Did you bar skin?
Yeah. And put some heroisms down. I think LSG might have some more stuff. It's like a drug, but they put it in Chinese food. And apparently KFC also. I know
Yes,
that.
because MSG is delicious.
That's probably an example of my privilege. I'm not gonna lie, just assuming it was only in Chinese food.
Oh, I mean, like, that myth was perpetuated, like, a lot. Especially when you're talking about, like, late 90s, early 2000s. Like, the myth that MSG was, like, in stuff and would make you sick, but mostly just Chinese food was...
I didn't think it'd make me sick. I just thought that, like...
No, I know. There's just a lot of people that, like, complained about headaches that were hypothetically from MSG, but, like, they would eat other foods and other things with MSG and be fine. It's like, I don't think it's that. I think that you are in your own head a little bit there.
As many people are.
Yeah, true.
Alright, let's see if we can pull this off. Pull this out of our butts. I still just really worry that we're not coming out good. Because I still have this new mic, and my mixer is picking it up, and I'm sending out sound. But I don't think the compression is going on it. So, yeah, it's definitely not. I gotta run the Guitar Center this weekend. Thanks, Behringer.
Oh, yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Unworthy.
I don't know if the Vild Ravens just flat die, but I am concerned. Gankar! I don't know what that is, but that seems to be him dying.
You don't
basically.
seem to like my curses! Maybe I like my jokes
Stop that. Stop doing the dominates. Where'd he go? Am I attacking the right thing or am I attacking the party right now? Now we're attacking the thing. You get back here. You get back here. No, 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 no. Yeah, you can put down all the mirror images you want. Look how fast they all went. Oh, wait, he teleported.
Yeah.
I think they're still gone. I don't see it. Oh, okay, there were a couple. There are a lot. But when you have that high of an action economy, mirror image is not that good.
Yeah.
I got 8 things. I got 50
The time
attacks.
for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting and chaos.
I don't really... So this one bugs me too. And I guess this is the episode of Kingmaker that we're going to ramble a bunch. Things like the Wild Hunt, Valkyries, the Einar, things from like Norse mythology are just chaotic neutral. And while we can argue that because like the Danes were not of a similar society as like the Saxons, does that make them any more or less chaotic?
I don't know, it's the neutral question I sometimes have a bone to pick with. Sometimes with the things like with the Wild Hunt especially, it's just like, you people hunt! That seems pretty evil.
Yeah, I won't argue the good-evil access, axis, at least as far as the Wild Hunt goes, but like the Einherjar, the Valkyrie.
Yeah. It seems
If anything, I'd call a Valkyrie true neutral.
well, like, I don't know, the
Because
Valkyrie
like
border on lawful to me.
the Valkyrie doesn't care what side of the fight you're on. You're worthy. Get into my spear, and we're gonna go to Valhalla.
Which is kind of like, I don't know, I guess I always thought of like the concept of Valhalla, like the warrior's death.
As
And
LN.
like, huh? Yeah, because like there's a sense of like honor there, and I think of honor as very like lawful.
Which is a lot of times why I equate like the Danes to LN.
Yeah.
They just had to raid other cultures to survive because you couldn't grow food in Scandinavia in like 800 AD. I think
Whenever, yeah.
the Viking Age, right? I'm
Way long time.
That explains the laser raptors. You ever seen that movie?
No.
You haven't seen? That's like the best. It's a 30-minute movie. It was kickstarted and it's on Netflix. It's called Kung Fury, and we're doing it.
Okay.
But right now, let's play the Laser King. Okay, we are at least getting there. Yeah, Mr. Students, go forth, punch him, but actually hit. I feel like someone might think about the Monarch. Ooh, by the way, where is? And too much effort. So many efforts. They also seem to be going away once the incarnation of the Lantern King gets beat.
Yep.
So like, why would I not just beat? Where are you? Where are you, Christmas? LSG? Give him the polar ray. Give him the polar ruby. Right in the threat range. He does not have a weapon. Yeah, that's the sound that makes.
No.
She's kind of like very dead. The deadest. But so is the Lantern King. Oh, you mean to tell me?
I don't think that was the Lantern King.
No, it is.
Oh, he just has DR. Oh, or
No,
not
he
DR,
has some kind of fast healing.
Thank you, that's what I'm looking for.
Or he just got tripped.
Maybe? He's prone?
And targetable. I'm just gonna let the fight play out. This can be an experiment.
See if he gets back.
Target the Monarch. Okay, there it is.
Enough.
As soon as the horned hunter's body disappears into the fire, the destroyed throne room is flooded with light. The Lantern King, in his true blazing form, appears in the middle of the room. His furious mask is ringed by fire. The games have ended. Time freezes like resin, trapping you and the eldest in amber light, and this light grows brighter. The rays pass through you, pierce you, ruthlessly.
I swear to God. Why are you glaring? I see you glare off
I'm
the
not
side.
glaring. I'm just like, what's happening?
Why is this not voiced?
Yeah, there should have been a narrator.
That's you?
Thirdly,
That elbow went to places that make. Hello. Do you want me to cut that out?
probably.
Is that a yes or a no?
I mean, like, it didn't hurt or anything.
Okay, I will make a note of it, but I'll leave this part in so everyone can just question. Hello, where is my... Do you have your phone on you?
Yeah.
You want to make a mark for 23 minutes?
Oh, out the 23.
I still do want to play... I know we're talking about not streaming as much, but I think it would be cool to stream, like, Neverwinter Nights 2. Like you, me, and Matt.
That would be cool.
I still don't know exactly what that looks like. But I'm sure there's somebody out there who streams, like, with partners across, like, multiple things, so it's just a matter of that. Anyway, let's continue.
Okay.
No one will know what I cut out, haha. Oh, I'm a man of mystery.
Something inside of you resonates with the light of the eldest, your curse. It is like the splinter of an arrow that remains in the wound, a slow weapon crawling towards your heart. As soon as the rays touch it, it begins to heat up and then burns with intolerable pain.
Time for masks is over. You risk challenging an eldest, and I accept the challenge. You will fight not a mere embodiment, but my true essence. This is my essence. I don't imagine or servile monsters to destroy you. Words are enough. Yes, words. I once told you, words spoken in the right time and place possess the power of the storm. You lightheartedly answered that you know what your power and essence are.
Okay. Do you know how this ends? I'm curious.
I do not.
You and Matt haven't talked about it? Has he beat it?
I don't think he has, actually. I think we're further than him now.
Good, good. I'm winning.
In the desire to play with others' lives and fates.
That probably is how we answered.
I remember your answer. The world remembers it too. Your answer, your heart, your essence. Now, cursed king, I'm taking this part of your soul, as I took away Nerissa's ability to love. What you called your essence is yours no more.
The words of the eldest fly toward you like an arrow, ready to give new force to the curse that already torments you. You have but an instant to reply.
I don't remember this dialogue.
I'm sure it happened like forever ago
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
probably not him, but like
This is episode like 35 or something. It's been about a year this game's been out anyway. Bluff 45 for Gongar adds 27 and thus would need a
an 18.
Will 38. Jathel has a 24. Also, shout out to my team for doing this for me. Yeah, I don't even judge me. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She need a 14.
She's got a better than 50% chance. She's got a better than 50% chance.
Better than 15.
50.
She does not have. She needs a 14. She has
Oh,
to roll
right,
14,
I'm
50,
thinking
60, 70, 80,
9.
90, 20. She has a 7 in 20 chance. She has like a 35% chance. This is why you prioritize your saves, kids. For Gongar, I just got nothing. Well. I don't know if that's saved.
You could not save.
You miserable coward! Alright, it's fine. Your words are nothing more. No, wait, this is. Jathel has to step into it. Your words are unworthy. Damn. What did I roll, though? If I had a heroism there. Oh! Well done. Lantern King laughs, this laughter, soft, insinuating, almost amiable, is scarier than any nightmare. It resonates with the hot metal splinter that goes within your soul, making it stronger, slooshing at your essence, and taking away something essential that nourishes your power.
Let us continue.
What, my rage?
We
Is it pulling class features off me?
What do you want? A meager patch of land, a few thousand souls? My dominion is chaos and magic, madness and deceit. Your power is nothing compared to mine. And that is why you are helpless before me. You will take my every blow as a divine punishment, as something imminent.
Yet again, you have little time to answer, and this answer is the only thing that can protect you from the eldest next blow.
Would you please pass me the First World Realm of the Face Black Book? Never mind, it's not important. I just wanted to know exactly what the Lantern King's domains are, because I don't think it's those. Probably Chaos, though. Alright. Well, Dad would be really good at that.
Dad would be great at that. I miss Dad. Oh,
An 11 on Arcana check.
that's not bad.
I know enough about magic and sorcery, so don't try to threaten me, because you're just pulling class features away from us, and that's rude. Oh, you are the most treacherous monster I've ever had the chance to defeat!
There is a great power in knowledge. It wraps you in an invisible veil and protects you from the eldest blow. You feel his fury, but you know that it is not divine wrath, but the motion of an ancient being. Mighty, but not almighty.
Worth a lot of experience.
So many
I'm
XPs!
curious what you think of me, cursed king. Do you see me as a villain or a simple joker? In truth, well, I've never been able to conceive of the truth. Being an eldest means being one of the many strings that hold the world in place. Being an eldest means being such a vast and self-sufficient value that one's equals become strangers and one's inferiors are entirely insignificant. I am an eldest. Laughter. guile, transformation, that's what I am. Being what I am, I will let you feel a modicum of my loneliness. I will take away your pillar of strength.
Having lost all support, you face the deity alone. Silence hangs heavy over the ruined throne.
Well, I guess I'm gonna do the requires evil one, huh? You took not my pillar of strength, but just all my friends. But just useful tools. But it's in my power to take them back.
The blinding light flashes away, frightened like a living creature. The blistering metal of the curse cools. It still hurts, but the pain is no longer unbearable. You stand before the eldest, as before a blazing living star, and he looks at you as if he's seeing you for the first time. With what?
Good. You can play with words. Let us see if you can withstand the heat of my fire.
Alright, good to know we're all good. Good.
Okay.
And here we go. We still got that I thought that might come in handy with the Lantern King. Friends! There we go. Ugh. You step it! Who's not raging? Why am I... That's Death Story, man. I thought I was exhausted. Oh, I just can't rage. Oh, that's right there. Never mind.
Okay, I was like, oh no.
That's rude. Okay. CR40. So, this is the moment where I'm going to take a couple of screenshots. We were supposed to do a video on the Lantern King. We didn't. Partially because I wanted to get to this first. Screenshot taken. Okay.
Do you want to scroll down and get the rest of this stuff?
No! Yes. It's not a Mary.
It's certainly not a Mary.
I don't know what that is. I really am trying to right click on that to see more of that.
I think that's all we can see.
Finished. Take that.
Lantern King, more like
Kessler.
Edgelord King.
I like edgelord characters. As long as you're not doing it for edgelord's sake, but usually you're not. You know what I mean? Anyway, the Fae, the Eldest, are supposed to cap out at like CR. How many hit points do you have? Not that many. I believe the Fae or the I did it again. I believe the Eldest are supposed to cap out in lore at like CR like 23, 24. They only grant one path of like obedience links, so I've had to brew the rest of them because I think that's just flat unfair. But, excuse me, but my first thought is this guy is a little too strong for what I would like expect to see, because that's the highest CR you ever see. That's like Cthulhu. Cthulhu is CR 40. It doesn't resist electricity. Thank you, Ragongar. Okay, yeah, so we're gonna just
Give him a Zats!
Zots him a bunch. Probably has egregious SR. No? Okay. That's... They want me to win. What are you immune to, friend? You're just immune to crits? I mean, that sucks for us, but I'm gonna energy drain you.
Energy drain you a bunch.
Dad! Dad! It's Dad!
Daddy's back!
Daddy! Oh, I missed you so, Daddy! I like you better when you're a big old angry thing, I guess, because you are just unbuffed. Get up in there. Get up on that dance floor. Give the Lantern King what he's asking.
Dad!
Alright, hold up. I am actually gonna try to find... He's doing no damage to us. Nice.
Yeah, good call on the pro energies.
I mean, he's a being of fire. Didn't seem like much of a jump to me. Cast energy drain. trying to blast metal. It temporarily drains 3 levels from the Lantern King, so he's not immune to it. That's weird. You expect your demigod level creatures to be immune to all the things. But I like that.
And so yeah, I kind of.
I gotta tell Matt that, by the way, that like when he's picking his spells and things, he doesn't have to pick things like he'll never fight something that's immune to electricity as a druid if he's trying to do that. He'll just have resistance instead. Because that's unfair.
Yeah.
For the same reason that, like, in Carrion Crown, Robin wants to play an illusionist, I'm fine with that. Just like the Poltergeist and All Undead just receive like a +4 racial bonus, basically. 20% chance to pass, they're probably good. But not so good that like all the class features that a player's trying to do are just crap on. Like, I'm all for really hard encounters, and I don't think I'm like a killer GM, but I'm okay with player death. But I'm not okay with that. That's my line. Now I'm gonna throw, dude, negative low step. Well, this is...
Few have the chance to see a star die. Spots of cold, lifeless darkness cover the fiery form of the lantern, growing, devouring, and with a dull moan settling onto the ground in a cloud of cold white dust. But a moment later, right where the eldest crown lay burning, another shining image is born. It grows, glowing, turning into a familiar silhouette, wearing a crown.
Defeat. What a refreshing feeling. I don't remember sensing it for dozens of millennia.
Exactly how the eldest would feel about, or at least like, I think the Lantern King is chaotic neutral. The Lantern King freezes, his light flickers strangely, and his mask begins to change with incredible speed. One breath and you look upon a horrible grimace of wrath. Another breath and it's replaced by playful astonishment. Another, it's the mask of fatherly care.
But what's next? How will you end this story? Listen, I know. Elegant and refined. The hero defeats a deity in battle. Impressive, it grants the victor power and immortality. The hero enters the chambers of the deity to become his champion and herald. Eternal, powerful, equally glorified both in the first world and in Galarian. His kingdom healed from its wounds and flourished under the rule of the immortal champion. A beautiful ending, isn't it? And this legend is yours for the asking. Did I tell you I don't like dying? Well, I don't. Perhaps we should stop this pointless exercise and speak seriously?
I quit. Go buy me all the 5 ebooks. We're converting. What do I do? What would you ask for in return?
That is easy. I will return your kingdom to Galarian and strengthen its connection to the First World. In their homeland, the Fae can endlessly return to life. I will give to you the same gift. So long as you remain an enclave of the First World, death within its borders will never threaten.
That's so bad, though.
Overpopulation?
Not overpopulation. I'm not super worried about that. What I'm worried about is the insanity of, like, not being able to die. What if that happened on planet Earth today? Right, people fucking lose their minds. Everybody's gonna go full, what's that movie? For 24 hours, all crimes are legal.
Are you talking about the Purge?
Yeah.
Oh.
People are just gonna go crazy and start killing each other. You no longer, like, death is the ultimate motivation, I think. Like, I want to do this thing I'm doing because I could die tomorrow, and I want to be somebody. If I have the rest of forever, like, why would I do anything at all?
As for the prize, I'm offering you the position of a servant. Believe it or not, I am lonely. Divine power and immortality are a heavy burden. To accept it means losing all your friends and companions, but you can find allies in reliable assistance. This is what I'm looking for. A herald and a general with whom I can share eternity, and together we'll play 1,000 wonderful pranks and spread our power across the First World and further. Much.
Further, he said, but I wanted to turn the volume up a little.
Further.
I will not bow to you, No, I think I would just be mad and keep killing him, and then like 20 times later, like, not go away. I will not bow to you, eldest. Don't get your hopes up. Here is my offer. Lift the curse, return my kingdom to Galarian, and forget we exist. And I forget that you exist.
After you speak, the silence falls. deep as a chasm. Light pours from the lies of the Lantern King's masks. Still the mask of the
It
paternal
actually
care.
is too.
Oh, that's cool. But you do not mistake this for what lies behind it.
So be it. This performance has run its course. It would be unwise to continue. Besides, I have no love of dying, returning to life. My fellow eldest are very good at playing especially intricate pranks at that exact moment. You were cursed by my will. By my will, you are now free from the curse. May the shackles be broken, fetters be loosened. What's been stolen will be returned. What's been divided will be made whole again. I say farewell, every stranger, to a material plane. Oh, be glad of your ordinary mortal life. Forget the gods of the first world. Now they no longer concern you.
Well, I leveled.
Now that the eldest and other spiteful beings wouldn't be bothering us, the king returned to his subjects and celebrated the victory and the end of the kingdom's miseries with great fanfare. Everything gradually returned to normal, including our exciting lives. Not always peaceful, but also not troubled by invasions from another world. And little by little, our heroes and the common folk began to forget the sorrows of the past.
So I just want to say the bottom left here, if you don't see the, like, this is kind of like weirdly shaded in such a way that, to me at least, it kind of blends with everything around it. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I just thought this dude had a hookah. And then that runs into, like, a hookah horn.
Under the wise leadership of the king, the stolen lands became a true country. There was still much to be done, of course, and some of it will need to be finished by our heroes' descendants. But there are no longer cut purses on every corner, and the peasants aren't afraid some new self-proclaimed chief will show up and strong-arm himself into power.
Literally impossible. Cannot do it.
Just half a year after the war with the First World, Galt moved its troops to the southern border of the kingdom. Their attack was rebuffed. The enemy state's infantry could do little against soldiers who were skilled with their swords and knew the military arts better than the alphabet. Since then, Galt hasn't risked crossing any borders again, fearing cruel retaliation for further insolence.
I just want to say, I'm finally glad that my tier 1 military is paid off. And also, like, in 3.5 at least, the barbarians couldn't read unless you invested that point in linguistics. That's good. I also like that it seems like we're gonna get, maybe we're gonna do more than 2 Kingmaker streams then. I don't know.
Because there will actually be different things.
There's very clearly more going on here. I know I had the difficulty turned down a little, and maybe I should have kicked it back up. I don't know. But, like, the Lantern King's fight was really easy.
So yeah, my guess is we should keep the difficulty back up for the next one.
Yeah.
Or just, like, I bet if we kept the difficulty low, we could blow through the game super fast.
I don't want to do that, though.
That's fair.
I mean, kind of do, but also, like, there's lots of fun. My foot has been on stream. Hello, my foot. Goodbye, foot!
No feet on the stream!
Nope, that's my new rule that I've just made up. And I'm backing it up with this gun. Oh, now this video's flagged. Chamber flag!
The feud between Brevois North and South, which had been smoldering for ages, finally sparked the fires of civil war. We didn't interfere, watching as the forces of House Sertova and the Sword Lords slaughtered each other. Alternating between brief truces and fresh fights, Brevois was flooded with blood and grew weak. Its leaders could only watch helplessly as their border territories were slowly annexed by neighbors, until they fell to squabbling among themselves. The butchery in Brevois jeopardized the peace of the entire region.
Okay, so...
As power vacuums do.
So far what I've seen is side with the Eldori or don't side with the Eldori, big magic or big... this. Big muscle.
Muscles.
The Tiger Lords never fully recovered from the damage Armont did to the tribe. Lacking a strong leader and torn by infighting, the barbarians sank into a short but fierce internal war. Their lands were quickly appropriated by neighboring tribes, and the Tiger Lords were scattered across Numeria and the River Kingdoms, little more than pitiful remnants of a once great tribe.
Sad.
Very sad.
Having lost their city guard, Pitax was plunged into chaos. Soon, another power was born from among the gangs fighting to redistribute the wealth, and a much more dangerous one. Revolutionaries, dreaming of regaining Pitax's independence. Troops had to be stationed in the city, and the rebels responded with arson and political assassinations throughout the kingdom. Pitax was a headache for us for a long time. Governor Carnevariel, fearing for his life, locked himself in his chambers. A week later, they found him dead, surrounded by empty bottles and drug vials.
So I wanna say something. I sold my soul to Abraxas. Do you remember that? Do you remember that part?
Yes.
Where I was talking about, like, I need to replace all my mastodons with big snakes now. That never came up.
There was no place for art in the new Pitax. Students and teachers from the academy were scattered to the winds. Some found a place in neighboring courts, while others set off to earn some coin in roadside taverns. A third group, harboring anger and resentment toward the king, began weaving revolutionary plots. The ruins of the Academy of the Arts still stand in the middle of the city, overrun with ivy, empty and unwanted. There was no place for art in the new Pitax.
Wait, that's...
Students and teachers from the academy were scattered
Thank you,
to
Lindsay.
the
You heard
wind.
it the first time.
Trolls and kobolds, two of the most savage native peoples living in the Gnarl Marches, were completely exterminated in the region. The forest paths became much safer, and the peasants' cattle have stopped going missing.
So that's not what I did with the trolls for kobolds, yeah.
But not the trolls.
Weird.
We friended the trolls.
Maybe, like, Trollbold as a whole has to do better. Also, that's, like, the one problem I have with Kingmaker. And I realize that there has been a lot of things that I've said, both throughout this run and the LG run, that were probably not the best, so I apologize. Consider it a function of my privilege. But, like, this whole, like, I don't like that the whole first book of Kingmaker is go here. Nobody lives here, but take it. And no one lives here. Not nobody, not no how. People obviously live here just because they're not. I just did this on camera. I need to itch my nose. Whoosh. We'll talk more about that in Atomy Uncut when I get it done. I have a lot to say. Not right now.
Bartholomew Delgado still serves the king loyally. From time to time, he orders peculiar mechanisms and substances from all corners of the world. After receiving them, he spends a few days bragging about some great discovery he's about to make, then ends up gloomy for a few months. Then he receives another package, and the process repeats itself. At night, chilling screams are often heard from his laboratory. Unfortunately, without its founder, Varnhold never really recovered from the blow. Over time, the colony withered away, all the more so when its dwellers continued to disappear under mysterious circumstances. It took less than 2 years for Varnhold to permanently become a ghost town. The only person happy about the news was the king's new advisor, a mysterious and powerful wizard who still serves the ruler loyally to this day. No one knows what happened to the vanished dwellers of Varnhold. It feels like everyone just keeps trying to forget about them. There are still those who blame the king for their disappearance, but they prefer to do so very, very quietly.
So, I just want to spitball this with you really quickly.
Okay.
What if, when you play Pathfinder Kingmaker, what if Megavarn was a centaur? Centaur tribes live in the area around Varnhold. That seems to be better than just here's this other guy who the people in power have given a bunch of money to if you just go civilize the place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the centaur would make total sense to me.
Because that's what lives here. Yeah.
After the kobolds and mites disappeared,
That I
the
did.
empty caves beneath the old sycamore quickly became home to all kinds of disgusting critters. Giant centipedes being the most innocent and pleasant of them. Attempts have been made to clear out the caves, but it never takes long for something to take up residence again. In the end, the decision was made to block the entrances and burn the giant tree down, destroying the roots that held up the ceiling of the caves.
That seems excessive.
That's sad.
There are 2 druids in the party.
Sad.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oleg's trading post now resembles a border stronghold more than a haven for merchants and travelers. A town sprung up around it, from which the leader of the guard operates. Oleg and Svetlana aren't too happy about it, but at least they don't have to fear for their lives anymore.
That is the natural progression of a town, though, right? Somebody sets up a trading post somewhere, people live around it because that's where the supplies are, guards go to defend it, and then they need homes. Because where are they going to live when they're off duty, where their family's going to live? And town, right?
But like a base town.
Yeah, like any town around a military base.
Jod remained loyal to the
Jod!
king to the end of his
Not
days,
Jihad.
healing the sick and generously sharing his austere wisdom with anyone who wished to hear it, and some who didn't. Having fulfilled his duty to the ruler, Erastel's priest peacefully departed this world, surrounded by friends and disciples.
I'm just saying he should have had a bow, not a quarterstaff.
And he also should not report to us.
And also that. He's like the dad who's secretly really disappointed in you, but like is going to stick until you convert. Like, we are doing this. Okay, cool.
Having participated in Lamashtu's ritual, Olika gave birth to a strong and healthy baby. Sadly, the child grew into an unruly and violent adolescent. Having named Apir at just 10 years of age, the boy escaped to the Gnarl Marches, fleeing the rage of a mob that tore his mother to pieces instead. No one knows what happened to the lad, but legends of Lamashtu's child, who sometimes kills lost travelers and sometimes leads them to safety, are passed on by word of mouth throughout the area.
I see no problem with this.
I love that. Oh my god.
Avindra was glad to see the Lantern King's plans turn to dust. She spent some time helping restore the kingdom after the calamity, then returned home to the First World. They say the rebellious spirit of her cousin Nyrissa awoke within her as well. Avindra is said to recount our story to the Fae, encouraging them to question the power and might of the eldest.
That's right.
Descent!
After the victory, the storyteller abandoned his affairs and began spending a lot of time alone in contemplation. He eventually bid farewell to the king and left his lands. But I suspect the inhabitants of Galarian haven't heard the last of this mysterious traveler, for his own story is hardly finished.
And, good facial hair. That's all I can do. That's not true. I get some sweet whiskers right here.
Amiri stayed close friends with Nylak, but she remained a pariah to all the other members of the Six Bears tribe. Despite all the wisdom of their new chief, the tribe never found its place among the unfamiliar plains and cities, and they soon broke apart. The two friends left the kingdom together, setting off to find their own adventures. Enough that it would take a separate book to tell them all.
DLC.
Bye, Amiri.
Makes sense, though.
It does.
Valerie stayed to serve the king, but not for long. She soon laid down her weapon to start her own family. Valerie married a simple farmer and bore him 2 beautiful children. They settled away from the capital, where she was soon forgotten.
I guess that's the you didn't talk to or support Valerie
Yeah, I
arc.
guess.
She's probably the best put together. I don't know a lot about Jubilost. I want to say it's between those two, though. I don't know a lot about Tristan. I know there's something going on with him that's a little funky. I don't know if I necessarily like it. Acundio, I don't know anything about yet, but we will. Lindsay was pretty good, but she's a plot device, not a companion.
Yeah.
So that leaves Ragongar and Octavia, who are pretty good representation,
I love that.
gotta say. And also, like, I don't know, Ragongar was kind of flat. Or, like, one-dimensional, I guess, but that was a really good dimension for me.
Yeah.
Respond with violence. Boom! I'll run with Octavia eventually, because maybe I do want to keep doing this. I don't know. I think we'll go faster now that we know what's going on.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I can just respect Octavia to have more than 8. Con, you monsters! That leaves... Don't know anything about Knock Knock. It's gonna be a while before I do. Jaethel was... Jaethel. Don't know anything about the Tiefling Sisters. Is that the proper term? It's the
Yeah.
term I'm using.
Harem went mad for good. Or perhaps simply understood the true wisdom of Grotus. I'm not really sure if there's a difference. He left the palace barefoot, taking only a cane with him as he went off to preach. He died destitute, somewhere along the side of the road. But they say you can still find a ghost with a disheveled beard along the kingdom's roads, mumbling something about the end of the world. And if something suddenly breaks in someone's house, people commonly say, Harem touched it.
That's actually a thing in canon, not harem, but in Pathfinder's lore, because when I did the video on Glonder is in the same book that Grotus is in, and all of Grotus's clerics are literally insane. Harem is a interesting take on depression, I will say.
I think he speaks a lot to like modern anxieties about the impending end of the world.
Yeah. I wish I hadn't run him off. The Lawful Good game there's not enough room. Maybe I do a game where eventually I redeem him, though. If for no other reason than to see the other side of that, you know?
Yeah.
Make myself like a dwarf paladin or some noise.
Jaethal spent some time at the king's court, but it became progressively harder for her to hide her true nature from the omnipresent servants of Pharasma. Realizing the risk, she reluctantly left the kingdom, and she soon sent a message from Geb. In a country populated mainly by undead, Jaethal fit in well, especially with her skills and Urgathoa's blessing. She quickly gained fame and influence there, even gaining the favor of Erasni, the de facto ruler of Geb.
So that changes in Tyrant's Grasp. Get out of there, JJ! I will say I think I like Jaethal's art the best.
I do like it.
Because look at those cheekbones. Look at this girl.
Yeah, that's some new like Angelina Jolie.
She does kind of look like
Maleficent stuff.
Angelina Jolie meets vampires as they were portrayed pre-Twilight, I suppose. Yeah. There's my knee. Hello, knee. I was gonna say something. I would play something like Jaethal in 2nd edition because scythes are now a better weapon. Because I'm not trying to go for that 15 to 20. I'm just trying to go for 10 over.
Yeah.
Like a cleric rogue or something. I don't know.
Octavia stayed in the capital as the king's advisor and loyal companion. A true socialite, and one of the most influential and desirable women in the entire kingdom. The balls put on by Octavia were frequented by nobility from every neighboring country, and she enjoys bragging to barons and counts alike that she achieved her status all on her own, a common half-breed from no family to speak of. Only Rigongar spoils her happiness. They fight constantly, and she fears that his drinking or some other stupid trick of his will drive him to an early grave.
That is not the ending I
foresaw. No.
What?
Is it because we made them chaotic neutral and chaotic evil?
And didn't like join the relationship, didn't turn it into a triad? Is that why?
Maybe if you redeem Rigongar or join the relationship, that doesn't happen.
Clearly I need to make some more run-throughs. Rigongar's probably next, though.
Rigongar hung up his sword and began the life of luxury he'd always wanted. Admirers lined up outside his door, women and men alike. He indulged in every pleasure, wearing luxurious clothes and hosting orgies that would make Calistria blush.
Calistria, get out.
He quarreled more and more often with Octavia, who feared his drinking and unruly temper would drive him to an early grave. After these fights, he'd drown his resentment in wine. These days, he's hardly ever sober, and his trembling hands can barely even hold a sword.
What?
I don't like that.
I guess that is the fate of Chaotic Evil and Chaotic Evil together.
Yeah.
When there stops being things for killing, but there's always things for unsatisfied. Get out.
Despite all the woes that befell the country, our king remains a strong leader. Many noble houses from neighboring lands wouldn't hesitate to be related to him, and they regularly send a variety of marriage proposals.
I did it. Yeah.
Said the mirror was not romanceable.
Yeah, I get why, but I also don't get why, but I also get why. I have some I got some like back and forths on romance than like modern RPGs. Because on the one hand, everyone is whatever kind of sexual you want them to be seems really like fake and forced to me.
Yeah.
And not like a true example of like real life. But on the other hand, representation is great, and it's a game, and the game exists to, right? Like if you.
I think it doesn't make sense to have an unromanceable character in a game like this, or like, it's gotta be someone who like, there's a really good in-story explanation, and like I think.
For example, Mordecai.
Yeah, and I think that like
don't romance the Lich.
And I think that you should be able to try and have Mordecai be like, no.
Is our webcam flashing? Or am I just seeing that?
I don't think so.
Alright, if it's flashing, hello friends.
I don't think so.
Anyway, moving on. Here we go.
As for myself, the author of this book, Lindsay, who never chose a pretty nickname, I stayed here, within my own book, to watch what happens in the kingdom and one day write this epilogue. I hope, oh honored reader, that you learned something important from this story, or at least were entertained by it. And now that it's concluded, I have only to set the final period and go silent forever.
Lindsay!
I just want to say, she spends a lot of time being like, who has time to take care of yourself? I gotta read this book. I'm not worried about being pretty and stuff, but look at those brows.
I think this is a reference to when, like, you're walking around in her dialogue. It's like, Lindsay the Great, Lindsay the Magnificent.
No, I'm not talking about this right here. I'm talking about one of her dialogue options. It's like, who has time to look good? I'm more worried about this. I remember, like...
She does have some perfectly manicured brows.
And Alcat just shared that quote. Well... I have mixed feelings.
I understand why we got...
Alright, that's enough of that.
I do think that it makes sense and, like, is poetic and justified that a lot of the things didn't turn out super well for characters involved, considering you were chaotic evil.
Yeah, for sure. I think the kingdom should have fallen apart. Well, maybe not fallen apart, but, like, it shouldn't have been represented like, yes, everyone wants to marry two moons. Nah. All the Khalids just moved in, because this is a home for the Khalids, right?
I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to me that if your kingdom isn't going to totally collapse, which is, I think, what would happen to a truly chaotic evil kingdom, like 9 times out of 10, then I think it makes sense that, like, Ragongar's now miserable. So.
Yeah, Ragongar always has somebody to fight, and he's loyal to the Baron King, me, who's constantly has new enemies coming around. So... Harem dying made sense, because all of Grotus's clerics are de facto super crazy. This might be a little wild side. I don't even know where the mouse is right now. There it is. It sure is. I just gotta whoop it whoop it whoop. Boo boo boo. Okay. But as I was saying, like the Priest of Grotus thing, that made sense. I want to do a game where I redeem Harem and see the other half of that.
Yeah.
Because it is kind of sad. It is a really good take on what kind of nihilism is he? You're smarter than me. Hmm?
Very existential man. I don't know. Grotus might represent a form of like cosmic nihilism. I feel like we are just so small and insignificant, but specks of dust on the wind and all that good stuff.
And you are in worlds with
actual gods that you can like
actual
talk to.
Multitudes of gods.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, okay.
So we didn't get to see anything about Canner or G-Bloss because they died.
Yeah. Tristan died.
Oh yeah, I forgot about him. Hey, Tristan.
Oops. We'll get you next time.
So I guess we should probably talk about what the future of this looks like before we... Oh, there was again. Yeah, there's definitely something. I don't know what that is, but there is some camera flashing. Oh, I'll fix it.
What is happening?
I don't know. It's only happening sometimes. It's probably a function of I need some new ports. Because I'm not running any of these through 3.0, I'm running everything through a hub that is going into one port. That's like the only thing I really need to upgrade on my computer. I probably should have upgraded that before I got new monitors. But I really like these monitors.
They're really nice.
In the 90s. But also...
They're really nice.
Christmas. is very soon. But anyway, as for the future of these, if I ever disappear from the face of streaming stuff like this, that's not like live plays of like actual play TTRPG things, it's because the workload is too big. If I was ever to cut anything out, it would be this. This is the extra thing. That said, Kingmaker has, in addition to the fact that I haven't tried out several mods, I'm just going to kill that I would like to. There are and the Tenebrious Depths, which we'll do in the LG run. We'll do that in the LG run. 2 Moons of Story is over. I definitely enjoy this. This is the first video game I've beaten since 2014 or 15. Divinity Original Sin 1, when it was relatively new. So being able to set 3 hours apart of my day to do the thing, right? It helps me actually do these things and enjoy them. So we definitely are going to finish the LG run. Aja's story will come to an end. After that point, it may be another Kingmaker game. It may be a different game. There may be... I've said it enough on the channel that I'm in an open relationship, but I think all of my friends and patrons and stuff know that. And I know a lot of my patrons have, because those are the people I talk to when I'm afraid of things. But there may be that my meta, the other half of the V, that this is more of a...
Why wouldn't you just do a V?
Because 2 hands. Get out of here. But I think it would be really cool to get all 3 of us in on some older TTRPGs. And there's definitely some games I'd like to bring onto the channel that aren't, strictly speaking, Pathfinder. Also, with that in mind, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I've come to the resolution that I don't know how many hours a week that I work between being a YouTuber and being at Chipotle, but I'm assuming it's over 50 regularly. And it's coming to a point where I'm going kind of crazy. So I've decided that I've come to a point in my life when I need to start seriously considering about what Black Dragon Gaming full-time looks like. And the support of patronage is literally that. There was again. The only thing I can do to make that happen, and that's where we're at now. We're at a point where I just kind of need this much more, and I'm good. But the first thing that's going to happen when that does happen is at least all of these plays, and maybe my live plays of other things, are going to go on a different channel. Call it like the equivalent of GT Live. Right?
BDG Live.
Probably won't call it that. That's... Though he used Unholy Night, the intro theme I used, on a Pokemon video. I'm Matt Pat.
That's awesome.
Why?
I don't know. It was just funny. Because
you are laughing at me?
No, I'm not laughing.
What
at
does
you.
Matt Pat have that I do? I can't really ask that question in an open relationship. It's weird. We probably could make a video talking about that too.
Probably.
Representation is important, but
people usually have questions,
and that's why I say it too, because I know I'm not there are many people who are more marginalized than myself, but for the first time in almost 30 years, I'm not normal.
Not the standard.
Right. And I think the standard sucks. Did the standard, it almost killed me. Here we are. I'm rambling. Some kind of live thing where you'll find the games. Maybe, I guess I couldn't podcast this. I don't know. The point is, yeah. I started this about a year ago when a group of friends and I fell out, partially over some things that happened on another YouTube channel. A lot of craziness, and then everybody's schedules changed right at the beginning, and I am a very hyper vigilant man, so I assumed it was retaliatory, and so I had my Thursday nights free. We're not playing the game. Sure, let's do some Kingmaker. I'll buy this to feel better, and off we go. About a year later, we're done with it. And it's been a blast. I've felt a lot of things. I've gone this way, but I'm rambling now. I think we're going to go ahead and call it quits there. We will go back to the LG run sometime around this time next week. Until then, thank you guys for hanging out. We did it. Death to the Lantern King.
Indeed.
I'm going to go play Pokemon Go. You better get it right this time. Say bye, dude.
See ya.
That's all I wanted!